Hi, sir. Are you doing okay? I'll drop this off with you. It has a number that you can call if you ever want to reunify with your family or hometown.
So that was Santa Monica business owner John Alley, one of the many local leaders taking on California's homeless crisis. And they are stepping in where the area's Democrat officials have just failed. Given up, I don't know. Talk to Gavin Newsom, the governor. He has founded a new nonprofit called the Santa Monica Coalition, and they've been offering one-way plane tickets and other assistance to help homeless residents reunify with their families, wherever they may be. The founder of this new coalition, John Alley, claims local leaders have not come up with a working solution.
We're going to become like the south side of Chicago. What we're seeing now is no accountability, and there's no results.
And we've seen the homeless crisis in Los Angeles become one of the worst, most severe in all the nation. More than 71,000 Los Angeles residents are homeless. Nearly 50,000 of them have no form of shelter whatsoever, so they're just living on the streets. You know, Lawrence, when you look at this, somebody's got to come up with an answer. Is this what it takes? I mean, where are the local officials? They're not even helping the small business owner.
It's difficult. You know, I've been covering the homeless crisis for years. When I was Sean Hannity's correspondent, I covered it. When I was the correspondent for Fox Friends, I covered it. I went to all the major cities, visited their facilities, talked with the homeless people themselves. And what I've discovered over the years is it really isn't a resource issue. There's a lot of resources, especially in California. They give more to the homeless than any other state. The problem is the will. And do you force the people to reach a breaking point? Because any effective program that I've witnessed when I've gone to these facilities, they require all the homeless to leave the drugs. They can't bring the junk. And as a result of it, these people decide to go back to the street because they get 3 meals a day. They get cell phones on the street. They get health care on the street. And so there's really no incentive to leave their lifestyle. And so I don't know how you legislate it, but you got to give them an option. Either you take the services or you go to prison, but you can't be on the street.
I don't know if prison even solves it, because what you're talking about is that the initial problem, Emily, is not being dealt with. If the initial problem is mental illness or drug addiction, of course they're going to go back to where they can satisfy that addiction or whatever it is.
Well, and I think it's a competition of compassion by the libs that ends up simply being cruel. And if I can just speak X's and O's for a moment, the reality is that tax-paying citizens who feel compassion toward these people that need help are just paying twice, because their taxes are paid. In Seattle, it's $1 million per homeless person. In Los Angeles County, they have a budget of $1 billion. And yet when you look at the graphs, the amount of invested money rises, as does the homeless amount. So then we reach into our pockets again to contribute to nonprofits willingly and wantingly, because we want to help. The whole point is, so it's double.
Yep.
I mean, how much more money is it going to take? The whole point is it doesn't work. And now there's a bunch of illicit industries that these homeless are capitalizing on, especially in Skid Row in LA, and I know you've covered this,
yep,
with dogs, for example,
right,
where they're breeding pit bulls, they're breeding them to fight, and then Good Samaritans come in and purchase them to try to save the dogs, and then those people see it as a cash cow. So you're dealing with humans here on both sides, and that means a vast amount of stubbornness on the homeless side, those people that I'm talking about, and a vast amount of stubbornness and virtue signaling on the left side.
When I hear that astronomical number of $1 million per person, can you imagine how much you could change somebody's life if you just gave them a fraction of that, got them some help, and let them have the freedom to go live the way they want to live once they've gotten some help? $1 million a person?
Correct.
There's a whole lot you could do with 10% of that. Kennedy.
It's not the money. You know, to Lawrence's point, it's not the money, because well-intentioned voters in Los Angeles County and in California as a whole, they keep voting for billions and billions more. Gavin Newsom admitted, you know, they've got dozens of billions of dollars and they have no idea who it went to. They have no accounting for it at all whatsoever. You know, Karen Bass
ever
said...
solved anything, though? I mean,
no, absolutely not. But Karen Bass said that, you know, there are fewer homeless people now because she sends them to Santa Monica.
Right.
Santa Monica has become the new Skid Row. It has become this new receptacle, and it's impossible for moms with their kids to walk around in these
Yep.
parks and beautiful places that they used to just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no, that's true. I know Tony and I and the girls were there, and you could see, I mean, you're looking across the beach and you can see something perpendicular. It was hypodermic needles.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it really, and they're doing their best to clean it up. You see the city, you see, you know, the officers get off their bikes and they're, you know, making sure that people are actually putting their trash into the cans. But, I mean, that's like grown-up behavior that they have to corral.
Well, and I do like the idea of this program, because
Right.
the people who want the help, Lawrence, to your point again, if you want the help, he's saying, we will get you a plane ticket so you have a support system, a family, a friend, wherever we are sending you to help get you back on your feet. But you look at this program that you just mentioned, Kennedy, Karen Bass's program, it's called Inside Safe. It costs $17,000 per person per month to house these homeless people, and I think only 1 in 6 of them actually stay in these facilities, and so it's just money that goes in and is ultimately wasted, and if they don't want the help, it's very hard. Mental illness, alcohol, drug abuse, it all plays a role.
Yeah, for the reasons you said. They
They want the help, but they don't want to abide by the rules because of addiction is strong.
Yeah.
All right, we're outnumbered in a moment.